I've been working on this Minecraft city for about the past 5 months, but I think that it's finally time that I give it a tour. Um, if you guys know, I have been streaming this, and if you haven't happened to catch the stream, then you know, go watch it. It's pretty fun. But I think that it's time to give it a tour. As you can see, it's starting to accumulate pretty big. There's actually one more thing up there. Oh. It's not gonna load in all the way. That's really unfortunate. Maybe we'll get there eventually. But anyways, I think it's about time that we tour this. So like all city worlds, you gotta have the humble beginning. So here it is. You know, she's a little small, but this is the coffee shop. As I run into a tree. What's the name on this guy? Did I not put a name? I swear. Oh yeah, Woven Coffee House. What a fire name, and I right. So inside, you know, nice little vibes. There's some seating, of course, some outdoor deck seating, which is super nice. And then of course the counter, which has a little drive-through and the nice sea of nothing over there. The main goal with this city is that it is completely, like, all the interiors are complete. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think this was built second. So let's go ahead, look both ways. Well, I guess look one way. But this is Bo's Ice Cream, which honestly, I'm a big fan of this one as well. So, you got all the nice, like, pinkish colors and all the different ice cream flavors. There's a back of house area, just super cool. Like the ice cream makers, I guess, in the fridge. And then outside takes you to the garbage cans, which is of course so fun. And then there's some, oops, my bad. There is some bathrooms, which is nice. And then you come up here, you got some extra seating, which kind of overlooks the ice cream place, which is one of my favorite parts. A nice little corner area. And then we got this nice little outdoor deck that overlooks the coffee house. Let's go ahead, head back down, go to the next room, or not room, building. So this is the Valvoline. This is like one of the only on-brand things that's actually there, or here, I guess. So, nothing fancy in here. It's like a tire hanging from the ceiling, some, I don't know, TV, I don't know. And then this is, where the work is done. These are supposed to be like lifts, which I think turned out looking pretty cool. You can walk in here, which is interesting. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I definitely like this one. That one was pretty fun. This one was like one of the few that was an actual like reference image. Like, I'll get inspiration from other images, but that's the one that's like block for block pretty much. Then this next one is definitely one of my favorites as well. This is Indies Records. This was the 4th building built, and I absolutely love it. It's very cool vibes, to be honest. And you come in here, and I used looms. Like, if you didn't know, looms definitely looks like files or records. So, I definitely utilized that here and tried to keep it looking pretty dang unique in here. Antique, if you will. And then these are record players, which kind of look like they're playing. And then the levers on a slab with the use of world edit. So don't, like me, if you're gullible and you think that you can just go into your world and do this, you can't. You need world edit, which that took me a long time as a kid to understand that. But yeah, then we got upstairs with a few different like books, I guess, like books on artists, and then a little reading nooks, and then more records, and then CD cabinet, which is pretty cool. Then we got the cool little paintings as well. So that's pretty cool. Actually, let me do something real quick. Okay, I know that this is gonna kill my computer having the shaders on, but like, it's shaders. We gotta really like show off how beautiful, oh my god, how beautiful this thing can look like. But yeah, I chose super dim lighting for in here, because it's like an antique store. If we come back out here, oh, it's looking mighty beautiful. All the street names are named after people who have come by the streams and, commented, was there, hung out, vibed, so if you want your name on a street, feel free to stop by the streams. I stream on Twitch now. It's a YouTube, Byron Gaming _. So like this. It'll also be in the description. like that. Boom. That is it. If you want to catch the streams, of course, you don't have to. That's why I'm showing it on here every once in a while. So next up we have this beautiful building. I love this building. This is Sandy Apartments. This was also built, everything was built on stream for the most. That wasn't low-key, but everything else has been. And this was super fun to build. But we got this little hot dog stand, and then obviously amazing greenery everywhere. And then of course we got a cool little statue over here, and then this will be a back street eventually. But I'll go ahead and give you a tour. I'll only show off a few of the rooms since there's so many. Let me go ahead and do the full 360 of it. You know, it's pretty fire. I definitely love the way that this one turned out. It's very, very cool, I feel like. This is technically the front. So we'll go on. Actually, I guess I want to show you the parking garage, and then I'll go through the elevator instead, because there is a working elevator. So down here, you got your parking garage, you know, super dim lighting as it should be. This is just super simple, you know, just chill. It's nothing too fancy. But then in here, where it gets a little bit fancier, and we have a nice little working elevator. Yeah, so this is kind of where some of the apartments are, but the main lobby is through here, which, you know, leads you out to the front doors. Yeah, so we got this cool little lobby area, which has, you stand right here and wait to be called, and then you go to these different things. There's also a little area behind here in case you need to do some business. We got a cool little carpet. And then through here, there's the apartment gym. It's definitely not the fanciest gym in the world, that's for sure. But, you know, whatever, it's pretty cool. And then I'll show you some of the rooms. Like I said, not all of them because there's so many. I think there's 7 stories. But through here, we got a nice little apartment with a cool TV and surround sound system. Got a nice bedroom, bathroom through here. You know, just a little 1-bedroom apartment. I don't think any of these are 2 bedrooms. I think they're all 1 bedroom. So honestly, my bad, but whatever. And then this is the other one, a little bit smaller, but still just as nice. So yeah, I'll show you one of my favorite ones since we're over here. But if we come up here, I believe it's this one. Yeah, so this one has a super cool little surround sound. I like the red vibes, you know. And then I'll just show you what kind of these ones look like. They're not super fancy, you know, but they're good enough. But every balcony is different. Everything is different because, you know, if it's all the same, then what's the fun in that? But everything is slightly varied. You know, we got all the rooftop decorations. Now on to the next big thing. This is the city hall. This entire thing took a very long time. There's a golf course that runs through here that's actually playable. And then we got a cool little baseball field back here, which hopefully, you know, it won't smash any windows. We got the tennis courts through here, volleyball courts, and then seating, and then there's some food trucks as well. Bo's Ice Cream is up over here. Then we got our little taco truck as well, which is pretty cool. And, you know, some frisbee golf through here, which is pretty cool as well. So there's a lot of activities here, since, you know, it is the city hall. But we'll go ahead and walk up to it since, you know, it's pretty fancy. This is definitely one of my favorites. Like, I think it turned out so beautiful and it looks so grand, and I love it. But there's a lot of things going on in here, so let's go ahead and take a little peek. So, you know, we got the cool dome, which you can look up at the top. It has my name and Blair's name. And then we have some cool skylight coming through here and these cool little statues. Like I said, every room is different. So we have the supporter room. So like I said, if you ever want to come by the stream and, you know, you hang out for a little bit, then you will end up in the book. And so here are all the people who have been supporting me recently and showing love, and I really appreciate it. And all you guys come by, and it's, you know, I just really appreciate it, for real. Love all you guys and all the support I've been getting. It really means a lot, even though I've taken a sabbatical, but you guys still are here. And we got the bathrooms and stuff, which are in here. Nothing too fancy there. We go ahead and run over to the other side. We have the administration. Definitely nothing fancy in here. It's just administration. We got the ceremonial room, so, you know, weddings can happen in here, like court weddings or, you know, funeral, you know, just little places to congregate. And then we come upstairs. Actually, I'll take you downstairs first. So this is the low court level cases. So this isn't actually the courthouse. This is just for things like parking tickets, you know, just all the simple things. So you got your little registration. And then through here, all the different courtrooms. So it's nothing too fancy. You got, you know, your defendant, prosecutor, and then the judge would be up there. And then these ones are mirrored on the other side. They're not different, except for the paintings, I think. I got a little lazy. But this room is pretty cool. This is my favorite one. You know, it's like the most grand one. This is for like a little bit more serious. Like maybe a DUI would be over here, but nothing like super criminal, you know? No murders up in here. Then we'll go ahead and head upstairs, which is a very beautiful kind of room. I kept everything open with arches just to make it feel super grand. So we got the conference room in here. Like I said, nothing fancy in these, that's for sure. Then we got my office, which, you know, nothing too fancy, but it's definitely cool. And then the map room, which you saw at the beginning, shows just how crazy this city is starting to become, which is why the tour is necessary. And then we got the balcony with a very cool view because this is pretty much, I think it's slightly off low-key, but it's pretty much centered. So we got a cool view from out front. And then over here is the break room. So, you know, obviously, just a simple break room. I believe that this is Blair's office as well. She's just got a cute little pink setup going in here. And then this is the building history room. So this is a very important building, as you might tell, because it's a history room. And this has every single date of everything that was built. So if you're curious, you know, you can pause the video, read everything, but it started around... I had to pause the thing. It started around April and ended around, you know, it's obviously still being worked on to this day. So, yeah. And now continuing on, I guess I'll be civil and go down the stairs instead of just flying off the balcony like I usually do. Go ahead and head over to the next building. And that is going to be this beautiful police station, which was inspired off of a real floor plan. It's not completely like block for block. You know, like I said, most of these are just inspiration. But I did heavily use a floor plan. I don't even remember what police station it was, but whatever. It turned out pretty dang cool, though. I'm excited to show you. So let me go over here. Let's go inside. And so inside we, of course, have the simple reception. Low-key, I don't know if anyone has seen The Rookie. I'm low-key... Oh, that's my bad. Low-key, I love The Rookie. I'm rewatching it for the third time now. It's a little inspired off of The Rookie. I wouldn't say it's exactly the same because, like I said, I used another floor plan, but it's similar. But anyways, so I've got this little reception that's back here, which is pretty cool. And then through here, this is the training room, or the roll call room, I guess. You know, you come in here, get your roll call, and then tasks for the day. And then through here is all the offices and stuff, which is pretty, you know, pretty standard, nothing fancy. This is the chief's office, which, you know, hopefully nobody has a grudge against them, because that would be unfortunate because he's right against the window. But then locker room is through here, which is super simple, nothing fancy. And then this would be like the employee entrance, which is back here in this cute little cove that's over here. And then through here, these are all the different bays. So we have bay 1, which has a cop car in here. And then bay 2 and 3 is shared. And then through here is the armory. So you'd sit here and then, you know, the cops will get their bags and then go to their cars. And through here are the holding cells. So, you know, just until they get sent to the actual prison. And then this is the fingerprinting station. And then where you take your lovely mugshot. So that's pretty cool. And then we got the interrogation room. So we got like bottles of water. And then you're sitting here. And then, of course, realistically, you wouldn't be able to see through there. But obviously, this is Minecraft. So you're going to see through there. And then, you know, you got the interrogation room. I think it's pretty cool, though, the way that turned out. And then you got this nice little area with all the trees. And then you can come up this wonderful spiral staircase. And you got, like, kind of like a security checkpoint. You know, make sure that people that are going to the offices are people who should be in the offices. And then we got some files back there. So all of these look pretty similar. Like, there's really nothing fancy. I think the fanciest one is this one, yes, which is the lead detective. So that's why that they are up here. So there's a nice little P on the floor with a little skylight. Got more offices. I'm not going to show them all. They all look pretty much the same. And through here, we got this beautiful break room with another skylight. And a nice little kitchen, pool table, and chairs. So yeah, that's about it for the police station. Nothing too fancy. Let's go ahead and head back down the stairs. Like I said, I'll be civilized and actually use the doors instead of just punching through the glass, which again is what I usually do, but I'm not going to do that right now. So now we'll go to this next area, which is pretty nice. There's a nice little bowling alley and some little pipes. And then this is a dentist office, which I actually pretty much just built, besides the one that's over there that we'll get to in a minute. So this is Rose Dentistry, if you couldn't tell by the massive rows. But I actually really like the way this building came out, all the colors and stuff. So you got a little reception, of course, and waiting area. And then this is the janitor closet back in here. And we got the cool little, like, you know, where you actually get your teeth done, and there's little TVs on the ceiling and stuff. So we got 3 different rooms. You know, they kind of vary in size, and then a little office, washing station. Then you got the lab in here, you know, where you like make the, I don't know, retainers and I don't know, stuff like that. And then a little kitchen area. And I think my favorite thing about this building is all the different colors. Just because, I don't know, the light gray with the cyan and the wood just looks so nice together. But this is the dentistry, and I'll go ahead and do like a little 360 of it. It's nothing too fancy. This is like one of the smaller buildings, but it turned out really nice, actually. I enjoy what it came up with. So now, I actually really love the way that this building turned out. This is the bowling alley. It's inspired by an Arizona bowling alley. I low-key forgot the name of it. But it just turned out looking super cool. This side is a little ugly, but there's going to be buildings right here, so I was like, whatever. And then you can see some redstone down here because there are some working things in here. So yeah, this thing turned out super nice. We'll go ahead and take a walk through it. So, you know, you got your front doors, which takes you in here. You know, it's a little bit dim lit in here because it's supposed to be, you know, focus is bowling. But you got a little food area, and then you can eat up in here. You know, you got all these different booths and stuff, and then a lot of pool tables with different colored balls on it. And then we got where you actually get your shoes. Those are all the different sizes. And then there's a little break room through here. And then you got the arcade that's in this corner, since this is Leonard's Bowl and Arcade. I don't know why that name came up, but that's the name that I'm gonna go with. So this is the little arcade area. You got all these different types of games, the dancing game, and then one of those ones where, you know, you go in here and like play a game. So yeah, definitely cool all the way around. And then we got the actual bowling alley, which has all these different kind of balls you can use. And then I used signs with glow squid to make it look like there's like LED lights. So it turned out super cool. And like I said, this is a working bowling thing, so I'll go ahead and try and get the diamond block. So you throw it, obviously, and I'm horrible, so I missed. But if you make it to that corner, nice. So then you get a diamond block. You get a diamond block for doing it, which is super cool. And then these two do gold, and then the front one does iron. And then, you know, it's just like that. So there's just pistons underneath there that make it go... can I speak? The pistons make a redstone block go to the dispenser, which dispenses up whatever you hit. So it's super cool, a little interactive. Same with the golf course, it's all the way over there. It's also interactive, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so this is a bowling alley. Actually, I want to go out the other doors because the view, or like, it just looks super pretty out here. So yeah, definitely am a fan of doing a bunch of landscaping. And now for the big reveal of the thing that I just built. Disclaimer, it's not, like, there's no interior yet. And I just now, this morning, came up with what the interior is gonna be. But, so this building, low-key, is like my new pride and joy. I'm gonna look down a little bit, you know, let you look at the city hall one more time. Here, I'll go ahead and show you the beautiful tower, the clock. And... so here it is. So this building took me like 3 hours last night, which was on stream. So if you want to see how these are built and come up with, then, you know, check out the stream. But I'll go ahead and do a full 360 pan of this. So this is the first skyscraper, as where we are at right now is going to be the skyscraper district instead of low rises. And it's not like too tall. Like, this is more of a mid-rise than a skyscraper, but like, this building turned out so beautiful. Like, I cannot believe. So it is inspired off of this image right here, which is a Skyscraper by Frank Lloyd Wright, one of his only ones. And it's inspired, the floor plan by any means is not similar at all. There's just elements and color scheme that is similar. Like these balconies are an element, and then these slats and all of the windows are elements. But this Skyscraper turned out beautifully. This is 100% my most favorite build right now. It is going to be the architect office building because, you know, that makes sense as it is built, or the original idea was inspired by one of the world's best architects. So yeah, this is going to be the architecture firm building, and it's going to have all the different business in here. Obviously, like I said, it's completely empty, but this is how I do my floor plans. I do it with different colors and stuff, and each color tells me a different thing. So, you know, like orange means interior walls, and then red means exterior, and purple means windows and stuff. But obviously there's nothing in here, and I already built the walls, so those colors are gone now. But, you know, this is going to be break room, be a conference room, the offices to meet with like normal clients, and then this is going to be kind of like a little gathering waiting area kind of thing, and then this is like the actual waiting area. Like this is more like you gather and you like stand here and talk about things, you know, talk about ideas, stuff like that. Nothing too fancy. But this building is now my baby. Like this is my pride and joy. Like I cannot believe, like I'm not trying to boost my own ego by any means, but like this is definitely one of the best skyscrapers I've come up with, because usually I don't build skyscrapers. So I was super pleased with the way that this one came up. And yeah, so that's about it for the city. We'll just, you know, go ahead and do a fly overhead so you could just see how big it's getting. But yeah, hopefully you did enjoy. Like I said, all of this is streamed on Twitch. So if you are interested in tagging along, helping me name these buildings, and helping me decide what to build next, and have your name on a street, you know, that would be super cool. You just need to let me know down in the chat. So if you are interested in coming and hanging out and having some cool vibes, then I would definitely suggest joining the Twitch, Viren Gaming _. But yeah, I really just wanted to show the last 5 months of this city. It's not insanely big for 5 months since it is being built on and off, but you know, it's getting there. Slowly but surely it's getting bigger, and I'm loving it again. I definitely took a little break from playing this because, you know, it takes a long time. It takes a lot of brain power to like plan everything and make sure it makes sense, especially like all the roads, you know, making sure everything makes sense. But it's definitely turning out pretty cool. But if you did enjoy, continue watching for more content. I'm hoping to be back on the survival world, and hopefully the immersive world, because I realized the other day I only made like 2 episodes and haven't played it in forever. But I'm hoping to get inspired again and begin playing on those worlds again, because I miss it. And I miss making content for you guys. And I really am sorry for it being such a long time. But like I said, I always appreciate all your guys' support and continuous support, even when I take sabbaticals like this. So if you did enjoy, continue on watching for more content. You know, keep a lookout for the next videos that's going to come out. I appreciate every single one of you. Join the Twitch. I hope to see you guys in chat, you know, have some cool conversations with you guys, and have a great rest of whatever time of day that you're having. See ya!